JD, what's going on, man? It's been a while. It's good to see you. I like the background you got. You always switch it up and keep it fresh behind you. What's going on, man? How's your week going?
Oh man, just a glorious day down here in Portland, Oregon. Ready to get into these news and notes and daily fact checkers that we've been doing. So let's get into it, Chris.
All right, man. Well, shoot. The NBA season is over, and the Denver Nuggets
Say
are the
that again.
champs.
Who?
Like that. It's
Who?
gonna take a while to get used to.
Who?
It's one of the ones you're gonna forget. Like it's gonna be a trivia question in a few years, and you're gonna be like, "Who won that year?" Oh, Denver. I mean, this is just one and done, right? Like I've heard people say they're the new San Antonio Spurs, bore you to death, kind of get it done, built for to last. But what do you think, man? What's your take?
Well, first and foremost, a shout out to Miami Heat for being the second eight seed to make it to the NBA Finals and on the brink of elimination in the playoff game. They had a great season. However, like most teams, like Jimmy said, who cares? Everybody's hurt at this point. So they battled injuries, and I believe that the Denver Nuggets were the champions from the start of the playoffs. They were the number one seed, and they played hard all season to get that. They went 16-4 in the playoffs. That's a great record. You know, you can't argue with that. They swept the
Yeah, it's 16
Lakers.
and 4. You know it. I mean, they swept the Lakers, but a lot of teams could have done that. Let's be real. But Murray and Jokic, they had that game where they both had a triple double with a 30 piece, first teammates in any postseason or regular season to do that, and they ended up averaging 25, 5, and 5 each. First pair of teammates to do that in the postseason. Um, Jokic is a freak. I hate Jokic. I'm on record forever and ever saying I don't like watching that dude play basketball. Um, Murray is nice. Everyone's kind of fallen in love with this comeback story, but he's kind of a he's he's kind of a poor man's Kobe, where his life he's obsessed with basketball, and it's what he does all day, every day.
Yeah.
Coming up, and it's he's competitive. He wants to get better. Jokic, he's got his life in Serbia. Was this the crescendo? Was this the last time that we're going to see them at the top, or do you think they're coming back?
Well, both players are under contract, all three of them. So let's start with Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter. All three of them, you got three max contract players. So that's why you have seen Denver doing the trades and making the moves to lessen their cap because they are over the salary cap and they are what they call the luxury tax. So they are a repeat offender. So I would see why not. Um, let's be real. Murray has missed the last two postseasons. The last time that Murray played in the postseason, the Nuggets made it to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers in the bubble. So I would say, yes, I would believe that they should be able to make a finals run, Western Conference run, multiple times in the next 4 to 5 years. They're all still very young. And once you've made the mountaintop and you sprayed champagne in your eyes, figuratively, even though they wear the goggles now, you want that feeling again. So, yes, they're going to be the hunted team in the league as everybody, but a lot of people are still going to sleep on them just because of their style of play. Denver can slow it
I
down.
think they're going to get. I think they're going to get complacent, man.
Mm.
I think that wanting that feeling again is true for certain individuals, but I don't think that's built into everybody. I think there's some dudes that are like, I made it. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna get some sponsorship deals. I might get a bigger contract somewhere. I'm gonna hang my hat on this and kind of coast. But then you have the dudes that are, the Jamal Murrays with the Mamba mentality that they want to get back there. They want to feel it again. They don't want to leave the mountaintop. So I don't know if it's a sure thing, man. I really don't. But Joker is Joker. He's a freak. Seemingly kind of has that LeBron gift of never really getting hurt for long stints. He won the MVP. That was kind of obvious. First center in 2 decades to win the MVP since Shaq. Where do you put you? Do you put Joker in the top 10 all time center rankings?
I sure do. His story is not yet written. Just like Steph Curry. If Steph Curry wins another chip or two, why is he not a top 8 player all time when you win that many championships? So he's won 1 championship. He's won 2 MVPs. Now we need to see it for a 5-year stretch, a 4-year stretch of dominance, of actual, let's say this, postseason dominance, because we've seen quite a few players in the NBA, Gilbert Arenas, have 3-4 year stretch, T-Mac, where they put up great numbers, but come postseason time, they
Steve Francis.
Yeah, they gone fishing. They in Cancun on 3. So let's see it over a next 4 or 5 year. Well, let's be real to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning still won 2 chips and went to 4. So, you have to look at the.
Yeah, but he had that rep.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has only been to 1 Super Bowl. Drew Brees has only been to 1.
He won it.
Okay, well, I mean, if you only went to 1, though, Peyton Manning went to 4. I mean, you want to hate, but you still went.
That's what I'm saying. He's got the curse.
So let's just see what happens over these next 4 to 5 years about the Denver Nuggets as an organization. I think that the organization has done the right thing by not firing the coach because, your best player gets hurt. I mean, it showed last year when Denver played Golden State. They didn't know what to do. And maybe they learned by playing Golden State, Jokic against Draymond and getting bodied by Draymond and everything that happened in that series. Like, okay, I got to dominate now. And Jokic did that. 30, 20, 10 game. Nobody's done that in the NBA Finals. Come on. So the guy's put up great numbers. He might not be must-see TV, but if you like the game of basketball and you like to, see guys who can't jump over a curb, jump over a credit card, then Jokic is your man.
He got credit card hops. He's got credit card hops. He's just kind of a sloth. It's just not exciting to watch him play. I was playing some 2K today, and I had to go against Denver, and they're a tier 1 team. I was a tier 2 team. We won't go into that, but even in 2K, it's just he has too many tools in his bag, and no matter what the matchup, he's going to have an advantage, whether it's height, size, passing, shooting, spacing the floor, dare I say, speed and athleticism. I had Robin Lopez guarding him, and he was faster than him. So he finds his advantage against whoever his matchup is or whoever the set is against him and takes advantage of it.
So do you have him in the top 10?
He was picked in the second. I do.
Okay.
Because I look at it, I think there's a clear line between a big man, a 5, and then
a Tim Duncan, Kevin
else.
Garnett.
Dirk Nowitzki, yes. The 4, the stretch 4s, the skinny 5s, and I don't put those dudes in that category. I put Hakeem, Shaq, Bill Russell, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. I put all those dudes in that
Kareem
5. Like that's your big.
Yeah.
And Kareem and Joker too. If we go too far back into history, that obviously dudes we never saw play, but we can look up stats and everything like that. But they got 6'9", 6'7" dudes that were playing, that were the starting five, and
Bob Pettit.
all-stars, perennial all-stars. But like if you look at it, exactly, and it's like Dave DeBuscher and things like that. And what are you gonna? I mean, even Bill Laimbeer was only a reluctant 6'10". So Ben Wallace was 6'9". I mean, we can get into. I mean, Bam Adebayo, he's not. He's like 6'10" too, 6'9" also. So I'm just saying, there's you can tell when the guy has played the five or the post position his entire life. And then there's guys that have kind of bounced around between the wing and the post.
Anthony Davis.
Too tall, and so they played in the post, but they're more of a wing player. Exactly. And AD, perfect example. So when I look at this list, I look at it pure fives.
Yeah.
And I think he's already in the top 10, if not the top 7. But I like your take on the next 5 years, really kind of writing his story for him. But speaking of his story, my guy was drafted in the second round, 41st pick. That's a throwaway pick. That's a grab and stash overseas guy. The Blazers did that for a number of years with under Kevin Pritchard. They would just draft these dudes you'd never heard of that would just never come over. And it seemed like it worked with Jokic. I want to know if there's any other second round picks that have stuck out in your mind that like, oh, that dude slipped through the cracks and he was really nice. Or not just system guys, not a guy that was picked in the second round and picked by a team and he fit perfectly in and won a chip or got his 5 seconds of fame. But what's your take on second round picks?
Well, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Ginobili and Draymond Green. You know, 2 guys that are pillars of their franchise. 2 guys who set the tone for their teams, winning multiple championships. The thing this is the only thing I'll say about the San Antonio dynasty, in my mind, is that every dynasty won back-to-back championships, and they're the only dynasty that did it. And I don't know if I would even say that the Bird Celtics were a dynasty in that way, because the Bird Celtics, they didn't go back-to-back. And I always consider back
because they had a purple and gold team on the West to go against.
And so going back to back, come on, if it's not easy, and
it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You're gonna have re-energized team. The way that free agency and player transactions work nowadays, like every team's gonna look different next year. Every team is going to rebuild their roster either to beat LeBron and the Lakers or to beat Jokic and the Nuggets and in the West. And then in the East, it's another story. But looking at the second round, I think you're forgetting a few, my guy. Ginobili sticks out. Draymond Green, yes. Michael Redd was – I don't know how he slipped to the second round because he was a killer at Ohio State. Dennis Rodman was second round. Who else? Chris Middleton, second round, all-star. Paul Millsap, second round All-Star. Mark Gasol, Dennis Rodman, and Gilbert Arenas. These are all dudes that, you can get some value in the second round, even if it's a stash and grab, and it can work out. And then also keeping it local in the Northwest, Mr. Irrelevant of the 2011 draft, Isaiah Thomas, not the Pistons, not Zeke, but UW Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, the one who put it on the line and didn't get rewarded. So I got a crazy fact that I heard. There's been 5 players to win an NCAA championship one year and win an NBA championship the next year. We got Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, Henry Bibby. And this year, there was a new guy, Christian Brown, even though it's spelled Braun. That guy coming off the bench in Game 3 in Miami, that dunk he had was like, okay.
He won that for them.
Exactly.
He was that the catalyst they needed. Every game, your stars are going to be your stars, but you need something else, and he was that something else.
Yeah. So, and Giannis, he joins these 10,
Henry Bibby.
yes, Henry Bibby,
Okay.
New York Knicks,
Did you pay?
UCLA.
Magic is on that list, right?
Yep.
Magic's on that list.
Yeah. So these 10
Yeah, because he won
players
that chip.
all got something in common. Kareem, Moses Malone, Magic, Bird, Jordan, Duncan, LeBron, Curry, Giannis, and Jokic. They got 2 MVPs and a finals MVP. That's a really nice team right there, Chris. That's a solid
Hold on,
team.
list them. List them again. List them again.
Kareem, Moses Malone, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis, and Jokic. That's a solid 10, bro. That's some
Woo!
rare air for
Yeah,
Mr.
that's a nice.
Jokic.
That's a 5-on-5 right there.
Exactly. We could
Hey,
do a pickup game there on NBA
that's
2K.
yes, we can. All right, so talk to me about Stan Kroenke.
Well, I think, and we have you have a take on this, but you know, there's a saying in the NBA that teams win championships, not players. And the ownership of the team is what the culture is. You can talk about heat culture. Well, that starts with Pat Riley and Mickey Arison, the owner of Miami Heat. Well, Stan Kroenke has got a nice little run here with he owns Los Angeles Rams. He owns the Colorado Avalanche, and he owns the Denver Nuggets, and he owns the Arsenal football team over in the English Premier League. Well, those 4 teams have done pretty well in the last 3 years. And for the last 3 years, Stan Kroenke has lifted a trophy and has got a ring, Chris. Like Drake says, I got some pretty big rings. I mean, the rings that Stan has on his hand, I mean, I don't know if he's able to put them on, Chris, because those rings are really big these days. And imagine 3 big rings on your finger right now. I don't know, man. So I give it up to the Denver Nuggets owner, Stan Kroenke, on winning his 3rd straight championship with his 3rd different franchise that he owns. I think that's something to be, to commend. The Rams won their Super Bowl in their own stadium, which is a great feat that only Tampa Bay had done the previous year. So I think there's a lot to talk about how the organization of the Denver Nuggets, they didn't fire their coach. They drafted all these players, and they've done it the right way. And look at them right now winning the NBA championship.
Okay, so you know my stance on this. Billionaire owners look at these franchises like toys, like fun adventure, fun investments. So I think my guy got lucky. Winning in your home stadium is 100% luck, just based on where it's going to be and if you're good that year. And there's so much parity in the NFL, so don't give him props for that, my guy. I'm just going to be a hater right now. Like he got lucky. He bought the right teams at the right times, and they all kind of hit they hit pay dirt at the same time. So congrats, rich dude. Couple of your toys had a good day at the office. So let's move on. What do you think of speaking of crowning champions? What do you think of the Larry O'Brien Trophy, which it's the longest? I'm calling this now. No fact check. The longest running named NBA trophy out there, because they added all these names like 3 years ago. But the Larry O'Brien, the ball going through the hoop. It's gold. It's kind of off centered, but it looks dope. What's your take?
Well, they redesigned the trophy for the 75th anniversary. So Golden State got it last year. I think it's a great redesign. I think they added some great touches to it. I always have loved the way that trophy looks when you look at my Los Angeles Lakers trophy room. We got quite a few of those, and they look really nice. I would like for us to get one of these new ones and start stacking those up. But I really like the design of the NBA trophy. How about you?
Okay. No, I like it. I like it. And we were talking before the show, and you wanted to rank the trophies. So I'm going to go through in real time, a treat for our audience,
Yeah.
my reaction to pro sports teams' trophies. Right now, we're going to go NBA, Larry O'Brien. I'm going to give it a score on a 1 to 10. The Larry O'Brien is a 10 because
Yeah.
I'm biased, and it's the
Yeah.
Larry O'Brien. It's the LLB, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we got the Vince Lombardi. I know what this thing looks like. I'm 99% sure. I like that one because it's the gold kind of looks cheap on the NBA one. I'm still giving it a 10.
Yeah, that is true.
And I never give 10s on anything, but this looks prestigious.
Yeah.
With I can't tell if it's silver. Could be a little.
Made by
Some of the pictures look like it's
Tiffany's.
see through, but it's silver.
Made by Tiffany's.
Oh,
I
Tiffany's.
think
Okay.
that the Super Bowl Vince Lombardi trophy is the most expensive of all trophies, actually.
I mean that makes sense, bro. America's game. Ooh, MLS. This looks cool. What's it called? The Commissioner's Trophy.
That's MLB.
Why is it? I typed in MLS. Hold on, it auto corrected me. MLB is dope. I thought I'd seen that. Oh, MLS is trash.
Yeah.
What is that, bro? It looks like a Wimbledon trophy. Why does it have handles? That's stupid. I give that a 2. I give the Vince Lombardi an 8. But the MLB, I knew I recognized that MLB one. I give that a strong 8.5, maybe a 9, just because of the dimensions of it. You know, it's got texture. It looks prestigious as well. What you like the MLB one or the MLS one?
Nah. I, my favorite trophy is the World Cup. It's gold. It's the world.
Oh, hold on, we're getting there.
I think that
Oh, bro, but the Stanley Cup though, the Stanley Cup is the Stanley Cup.
I mean, it's nice. Everybody gets everybody gets a day with it. They got their name on it. But it's really
Yeah, the
big.
tradition, man.
I mean, it's more of a
It
tradition
is
trophy,
big.
but it's kind of big. You can't just post that
Yep.
up at the crib, Chris.
I mean, you can't. But
When you win a
would you
Super
post
Bowl,
any of the other ones? Any of the other ones, you'd need a custom trophy case, or they're all big, but this one is massive. But I like the tradition, and because of that, I'm gonna go 9. Just because these hockey dudes are crazy, they take it to Canada and Europe or Scandinavia and get really drunk out of it. NHL might take, even though the NBA is a 10, the NHL might be my favorite just because of the tradition.
oh, are you serious?
It might be. All right, let me see this World Cup.
World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Come on, man.
I mean, that's all right, man. You're biased.
I just think it's a cool trophy.
It's why?
Is because it's the world. So this is the whole thing, and this is something that I always laugh at, is that when the NFL and NBA teams say we're the world champs. See, that sport is just played in the United States. Now, the World Cup,
Yep.
the World Cup is played the USA versus Mexico versus Spain, Portugal. So it is a world championship, and it's actually, in my mind, it's really the only actual world championship that you can actually say that is a world championship, because all these other sports, you're not world champ. So the Euro team, Real Madrid, who won the Euro championship in basketball, is not going to play the Denver Nuggets. Okay, so that's not a world
Yep.
championship. That's my take on that. That's my
I'm with you.
soapbox.
That's a hot take, and you know what? You influence me. You change my opinion.
And it's
We're
not.
talking.
It's
Hold
not.
on.
Yeah.
Let me put this in 2 parts. Okay, so the trophy aesthetics, it's trash.
Yes.
But the naming convention, it makes sense. Everyone says world champs because NBA is the best league in the world. There's assumptions there. There's some ambiguity. Whereas the World Cup, it's fucking black and white. You win it or you don't, and you won against every other country or you didn't.
Yeah.
So I can see your take there. All right. So just speaking of the world, man, we woke up to some crazy news this week with the merger between Live Golf and the PGA. That's like peanut butter and jelly having a merger, and I have some I have some comments on that. But what's your initial take?
Well, my initial takes are good for the people who went and got the bag because
Right?
because Roy McIlroy, John Rahm, and all these guys who saved face for Monahan, they got a lot of pie and a lot of boo boo on their face because their leader, as they say, man, he needs some truth serum, Chris, because he didn't stick to the guns that he was talking about.
Bruh.
And I think it's very sad that they did it so soon. Now, if they would have did it next year, it might not have been so bad. But man, you shout out to all those guys who went and got that money.
It's only been a few months.
I don't care how
it's
you
only
get your
been
money.
a few months.
But they went and got the bag, Chris. And if you watch,
I was watching the.
Go ahead.
I was watching the. Hey, you about to talk about the Netflix documentary?
Exactly.
And my man, the dude from Scotland or England or whatever, with the crazy pants that was kind of an OG. In the middle of the show, he went to go to Live Golf. Shout out to him, because in the middle of filming something for PGA, he said, "Screw the PGA, I'm out." And now he's back in the PGA because of this merger. And it took a lot of balls. Anybody that took a deal. Here's my thing. Conspiracy theorist antennas perk up. Did Phil know this the whole time?
No.
You sure?
Nah.
You sure?
Nah, there's no way. I don't think that the PGA wanted no part of this, but they realized that the LIV people were doing solid. We don't really, in some part, like, okay, we don't really need them. But, when you see a Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, these guys playing well in the four majors, and they can come to those four tournaments and get talked about, and the LIV Golf is still relevant on those weekends. Now, it might not be relevant all the other weekends, but on those weekends, the LIV Golf players were talked about a lot. So,
you know what? You know what else talks? Money. And there's probably a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know anything about that had a huge influence on this. Who knows what their 5-year, 3-year, 10-year plan is and how this factors into that. But we all got.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I don't feel like I got because I don't care about the LIV Tour.
I don't care about it either, but there was this narrative of PGA, which is American, and being enemies with this LIV Golf. Like, we don't stand up for any of this blood money bullshit. And then they do an about face less than a year later, 6 months later, less than 6 months later, it happens. And I feel like I got. Well,
Chris, like we said, man, shout out to those guys who said, like Brooks Koepka said, I don't know if I was going to be able to get to this level. I didn't feel like injuries, so they went and got the money, Chris. They took care of their family, and that's all you can talk about. The Saudis are out here, man. And I got a question for you because the Saudis are coming for a pro sports team in America. They already have a couple European soccer teams. But my question is, if you're the Bus family, Genie Bus, and the Saudis came in you and said, hey, we want the Lakers, and we're going to give you $10 billion. Are you turning down $10 billion, Chris?
Am I me or am I Jeannie Buss?
You're Jeannie Buss. I'm asking you to be Jeannie Buss right now.
That's a hard no.
You're
It's
saying
tradition.
no.
You can't. I'm saying Jeannie Buss would say no. I'm saying yes. Me as a tax-paying citizen of the United States, I would say yes, hardcore. In a half a second, I would say yes in a negative second. But Jeannie Buss, I don't think she would sell, not just because of the Saudi thing, but just because it's tradition and it's. I mean, maybe if she was on her deathbed, but it's a status thing. It's her identity. You can't put a price tag on that.
I think that it's two parts, or for me, I'm a Lakers fan, and I actually wouldn't mind it because
Yeah.
here's the thing
You like
about the
blood money?
Lakers. I don't, all the money's blood money. Here's the thing about the Lakers compared to any other organization really in the NBA. The Lakers only make money from the Lakers. Jeannie Buss doesn't own the Los Angeles Kings or the Dodgers or another sports franchise locally. So they only generate the revenue what they own. And so being able to have
Hold
some
on.
deep pockets.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, bro. Only own the Lakers.
That's it. They don't.
Literally, bruh, get out of Kroenke world. Like, only own the Lakers, the most brand recognizable basketball team on the planet.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't
I
have the
mean,
cash, Chris, to do the things that they want to do. That's facts.
how do you know what she wants to do? How do you know what she wants to do? Maybe she's
You can just
cool.
see
Maybe
it.
she's good with her life.
Well, maybe, but I believe that.
Hey, we're gonna have to get Jeannie on the show. We're gonna have
Well,
to get her on the show. That's the only way to
listen,
figure
man.
this
If
out.
if you look at let me point this out now real quick. This is old school. One of the very first
Okay.
Instagram posts that I ever did in 2013 was a shout out to Dr. Buss. Okay, so I'm a Laker fan. You can look that up. I did a shout out to Dr. Buss because he is the OG. He
No one's
started the
questioning
modern day.
that.
But I want
No,
something
no
new.
one is questioning that.
I need something new.
Oh, okay.
I need something new. All right, we need new money. New money is good for the NBA as a whole.
But the thing is, like, what is that money gonna do? You have a rich owner. That's not gonna do shit for the league as a whole. You had Mark Cuban come in. You have the dude that owns the Kings. The Indian dude came in, billionaire on billionaire type dude. That doesn't do anything for the NBA.
Well, that's
I,
my hot take.
I,
I wouldn't mind it if my team got sold.
hey, my team is about to get sold. You seen the news about Jody Allen refusing to talk to Phil Knight about selling the Blazers to Phil Knight?
It's sad. It's sad as an
Like,
Oregonian.
get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like,
The
Uncle Phil owning the
cold
Blazers?
piece, Chris. The cold piece is this: Jody has to sell everything per Paul
Exactly.
Allen's will. So she just out
But she don't
here.
want to give it up.
Well, it's gonna get sold eventually. It's in documents. She can't
But
hold
is
on
Phil
to it.
gonna be alive? Is Phil gonna be alive? Like, we need to let him buy us while he can, and they can hire a real general manager, and we can get some real players in here and start winning some real games. Like, it's a domino effect, man. Can we just sell to Uncle Phil already? And imagine the free agents you'd attract if the fucking owner of Nike owned that team. Like, the founder of Nike owned the Blazers. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think that
Anyway,
ship has
that got
sailed,
me
Chris.
fired up. We didn't even have that in the notes, and that got me fired up.
I
I need
think
to
that
cool off.
yeah.
JD, give me one or two good minutes on the European scene and the sports scene in Europe.
All right, you got the stop clock ready for me?
You need one or two.
I need 2 minutes.
You need two?
Yeah.
Well, I got some popcorn. Let's
All right,
go.
all right. So last weekend was the Super Bowl of soccer. Man City beat Inter Milan 1-0, winning the treble, becoming the second team in English Premier Soccer to win the treble. Their coach Pape has now won.
What's a treble?
That's the English Premier League, the FA Cup, and the European Champions League. Their coach
All
did
right,
it
go
with
on.
Barcelona in 2009. The biggest news of all is that the GOAT himself, coming off of a World Cup championship in December, Lionel Messi decided that he's not going to play for the Saudis and all the money, but yet he's going to
I heard
come
about.
to Miami and play for Inter Miami. And he's bringing his friends, Chris. He's bringing some comrades to Miami, and he's going to be playing the Will Smith song, Welcome to Miami. All right. And that is kind of like this in opposite reverse of LeBron James saying, sorry, Lakers, I'm going to go play for the sorriest team in European basketball. And then since my Messi has said that he's coming to the U.S. to play, all of Miami's soccer tickets and MLS games have tripled in price.
Oh yeah, bet.
So we'll see what's about to happen.
Okay.
Mbappe,
JD, I appreciate that the 1.5 good minutes.
Mbappe, the world's
I want
best
to.
soccer player, said he's not going back to PSG. Back to you, Chris.
Oh, PSG. I don't even know what that is, man. But it sounds like they're a good league. What's PSG? Or that's a team?
Parents Saint Germain. That's where Messi played.
Oh, they had two good players.
Yes, they got two of the best players, and they didn't win nothing.
I saw that news on Messi. They were comparing it to David Beckham coming over in his twilight years. Is Messi over the hill?
Well, being that, how about this? He just won a World Cup, and he led his team to that.
Yeah, but
I
did he
was
win it or did his team win it?
He won it.
Who got
So
MVP? Who got MVP?
he did. He scored all the goals.
Oh,
So
so he's still good.
I think he's a lot better than David Beckham because he's a lot better with the ball than David Beckham was. By the time Beckham got here, yes, he was a great star, but he was no longer bending it. He was just sending it. Okay? So Messi is still quick as all be out. And if you watched any of those games in December in the World Cup, the dude still, I mean, he played every minute and he was the second leading scorer in the World Cup. I mean, the guy is still got it. He's 36. He's a seven-time European champion, player of the year. Like, the guy still got it. He wants to come here. He's going to get part of the revenue from Apple TV. He plays for a sorry team, but he's going to get part of the gate. There's a lot of contract things that haven't been ironed out yet, they say. But if he says on TV, hey, I'm coming here, I believe it. And it's going to be a great thing for European or American sports because, man, just like Zlatan, you know.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that from an economic standpoint. But from one football to real football, they dropped the Madden cover for 2024, and people say there's a Madden cover curse. There's a lot of money that comes with it. There's a lot of recognition. They dropped Jared Allen on the cover, or
Josh
Allen,
Allen.
sorry, on the cover. Josh Allen, my fault. Again, I was playing 2K with the Cavs, so Jared Allen was on my mind. But Josh Allen was on the cover. I think it's deserving. They don't always pick. It's every year they have to have someone new. They have to refresh, just like in 2K. Mahomes has been on it recently. Let's see who else they've had recently.
Lamar Jackson.
I got my notes right.
Lamar
Jackson's been on it. Tom Brady's been on it. I mean, he's not in the league anymore, but
Odell Beckham.
You kind of start to run out of superstars too. Beckham was on it a few years ago. Gronk was on it back on the day. They probably regret this one, but Antonio Brown was on the cover of 19.
Peyton Hillis.
Brady's been on it like 2-3 times. Richard Sherman in 2015. That's what's up. Um, what do you think though about Josh Allen? I have an anecdote after I hear your take, but
I
there was a
don't
little hidden
believe in the
detail in it.
Madden curse because I've seen the players who have come out and balled out that year. I believe that the Madden cover guy is one of those things that is iconic. It's better than being on a Wheaties box, okay? And it's Madden. It's the number one selling video game franchise of all time. It sells, you
Is it
know,
still?
I don't. It's been going on for 30 years, bro. I mean, the first 10
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
Madden, he was on the cover, and the first cover guy, was Eddie George. So I believe that the Madden, Eddie George is great. These guys have come out and gotten hurt, the Mike Vicks and whatever, but there's guys who have just come out and balled out. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. So not everybody gets hurt. Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald, Brett Favre. So it's not everybody gets hurt. Have players gotten hurt on the cover? Yes. That's part of the sport. You play the most violent sport there is other than rugby, and it's the football. And the Madden cover, Josh Allen, I think he was just kind of next in line. I wouldn't have been mad if they put Joe Burrow on it. I really think it's Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts, one of those guys. But I think it was time for Josh Allen to get on the cover. But I'm going to ask Bill Mafia, are you really ready for this? Because being on the cover means you got some more pressure. Last year, the Buffalo Bills
I mean,
were the
well,
favorite to
here's the
win the
do
Super
they could
Bowl.
they have any JD JD could they have any more pressure though? I mean, they've already had a high expectations. They didn't make the Super Bowl last year. Everyone wanted them. Everyone expected them to really make that next push. And now I'm hearing even in this offseason, the journalists and everybody that comes on the shows and they talk, the Bills have to make the Super Bowl this year.
Sure do.
It's about time.
Yeah, Chris, Josh Allen and the Bills, they got a lot of pressure coming up, and it's Super Bowl or bust for them. And we got to figure out if Bills Mafia and them are really ready to hoist Vince Lombardi Trophy come February in Sin City. The Super Bowl is in Vegas this year, so hopefully my Raiders might be represented there. But quick
Ooh.
thing, I gotta give a shout out to the Las Vegas Golden Knights on winning Lord Stanley Cup today. Uh, Winning the series
Mm.
4-1, and their 6th year as an organization, and they're lifting the cup. So shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights on a successful season. And with it being Father's Day weekend and both of us being fathers, I want to know, what is the best Father's Day gift you have received?
Man, so I've been told I was a hard guy to shop for. And I can see that because if there's something out there that, I really have my eyes on, I'm going to find a way to get it myself by my own means. And so a couple years ago, I want to say maybe 2019, 2020, we were up here in Washington, and my kid, I was really into burgers. I would cook them on the grill. I would cook them on the stovetop. We'd go to Five Guys or, wherever and just grab a good burger. And at the time, those art cakes were a big deal where they'd make a cake that would look like, whatever you want it to look like and you could eat it. And they actually surprised me. I came downstairs, like in the morning and, had some breakfast. Crystal made some bomb food. And then they had a cake for me, but it looked like a burger. And I'm going to drop a picture in here so everybody can see it. It looks like a dang burger. And I didn't think it was edible, but it was. It was really cool. It surprised me. It was thoughtful and it tasted good, man. So that's my most memorable Father's Day gift to date. We got a few more to go, though. What about you, my guy?
Yeah. Well, the one that I really enjoyed the most probably is this picture I got behind me of me and Kaya. It's a picture of me and my daughter. And my wife made that. It's textured, it's out of different stuff, and she does a really good job at that. So this is one of my favorite art pieces I have, and it's actually a Father's Day gift. I actually was seeing her work on it and seeing the picture that she took it from. It's different. I really, just love art. I'm an artsy person, and so are you, Chris. That's what, what's so great about our friendship and stuff, that we love sports, but we're both into tech and art, and we do art different, but it's still art. You helped design or gave me a concept for my logo and for my business, and so it's always great. I needed a favor from you. I said, hey, can you help me design something? And you did it in a couple of days, and I was like, all right, I didn't use exactly what you sent me, but it gave me an idea that I liked. So I'm always thankful for that. So this picture right here, man, that's probably my favorite Father's Day gift I have received. And for the people that don't know, what's your dad's name?
Oh yeah, man. My dad's name is Rex. T Rex, Sexy
The
Rexy, Rex
Dean.
Coivisto, Dr. Rex, the Dean. Yeah, yeah. What about
The
you, JD?
Dean.
Your dad's a legend around Portland, Gresham, Troutdale. That's our guy, man.
Big Johnny Demas, man. Shout out to my dad, Johnny Demas. And
Johnny
I'm just
D.
very thankful that I had a dad who was out there, and, like you said, any kid and any young man could go up to my dad if they had a question, and my dad would love to, conversate with you. And I think that's why sometimes I love talking to young kids at sporting events, just to want to, shoot some game to them, though, Chris.
That's all we can do, man. They're not going to listen at the time, but maybe later on in life, they'll be like, oh, that old dude knew what he was talking about.
Exactly.
Hey,
Well,
man. Well,
Chris,
hey,
this was a great show.
yes, sir, man. Great talking, JD. Man, I hope you have a great rest of your week, a great Father's Day weekend, and let's tap in next week when there's some free agency buzz going on.
Yeah. In closing, like I say, I know this podcast may not last forever, but this friendship and it'll last a lifetime. So salute to you. Happy Father's Day to all our dads out there. And episode 4 coming soon.